Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
I finally decorated the house for Christmas this weekend. Yesterday, I spent all day. I didn't even tell you this, Murphy, but I was going to go exercise yesterday evening. No need. I walked 10,000 steps easily in the house yesterday. I did not sit down all day, but it was fantastic because it's much later. What was yesterday, the 15th? Much later than I like to decorate.
Well, yeah. I bet you're not the only person who's bumped into that. With
Working
Thanksgiving
moms.
being 1 week later than quote-unquote normal, in 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just life.
Yeah, and I still don't have, embarrassingly so, the lights up outside yet.
It's fine. I put the owls
I'll do
out
it this
there.
evening.
Put them up after Christmas.
I put my owls out by the door. They're just not lit up yet.
The Christmas
it's okay.
owls.
I'm picking on you. Yeah, that's where they're going to go.
Yeah.
So
How are they Christmas owls? Do they have hats on them or something?
They have scarves on. They have I want to say a Santa hat and a green and white scarf.
Okay.
They're Christmas owls.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll upload a little reel this week of the decor, but it just really, really, it is a happiness maker. If you're struggling right now and you haven't decorated yet, if you're having a rough year, decorate, and you don't have to spend a bunch of money. Everything that I put out and in its place, it's not something new except the owls. It's old stuff that means a lot to us, and it just made me very happy to do it. And then Taylor was walking down the hall, and remember I told you an After the Show podcast weeks ago that when I miss my children, I miss our children being small the most is at Christmas time because of all the little fun things that you get to do with little kids at Christmas. And one of them being we have that big Santa bag that we keep all of the Christmas stuffed animals in.
Yeah.
I used to get them new Christmas stuffed animals every year. And so we have a ton of great stuff. And when they were little, when I would take that bag out of the closet and pour it into the middle of the floor, they would sit for hours and play and role play and Frosty, here comes Santa, and Rudolph. They would just do that. And I loved it. And that's over. They don't do that anymore, but I do decorate our mantle with some of those stuffed animals along with candles and pretty things. And I know that's not bougie or whatever. A lot of people do a very elegant Christmas. But for me, it's more childlike. Our decorations are childlike, and that's fine with me. That's what I love.
I love it.
So I put those things on the mantle, and then the rest of it I just dumped out onto the floor because not all of those stuffed animals are going to come out and be under the Christmas tree, or they're just not.
Did the dogs get
They don't anymore. They don't care. Our pack is so old now, they don't care. Which is great.
Edie might. You need to watch out for
right.
that. You
That's
might
one of
find
the reasons I honestly.
A Rudolph or Clarice in her mouth.
But anyway, when I put there was a pile of, you weren't even home, Murphy, but there was a pile of Christmas stuffed animals on the floor. And Taylor walked out of her room. And Taylor is 23 years old. And she walked out of her room and she saw, and she was like, oh. And she started picking them up and talking about them and talking to me. And she was like, oh. Then she walks over to the tree that I had just put together because it's an artificial tree. And a
little one, too.
It's kind of small. We might remedy that. But she started, I said, you want to put some ornaments on when Phoebe comes over later? You guys can decorate the tree. And she was like, awesome. And she started looking through the ornaments. She was like, she says, I love these ornaments. She's like, I don't like Christmas trees that are generic. A Christmas tree should be your family ornaments that mean something. She said at work I had to put up like a corporate tree. She said, I didn't like it. So, but she went back to the pile of stuffed animals. And that's why I called you going, where are the batteries? Because she wanted to put batteries in the Frosty. We have a Frosty, the snowman, who came from Build-A-Bear years ago when they were little. And it was where you put his hat down and it would go ding, 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 like he came to life. And she did it and it worked and ding, ding, ding. And she was, for a small percentage of the day yesterday, she was a kid again because of that, because of the Christmas decor. And I could be, my kids are older now and I don't have to do all this, but I love it. And when Phoebe did come over later, she was like, oh, she's like, Mom, the mantle. Because I do it a little bit differently every year. I don't take a picture and do the same thing every year. I just do what I feel, with what I have. And that's what's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
You're creating something fresh. Whereas me in the yard, I have to take a picture or
Well, that's okay.
it's
love
about
what you
wires
do.
and cords and where do they go and how did I do this last year?
That's not joyful to me. I'm glad that I don't have to do any of that.
Well,
I
look,
would.
it's
but
funny how taking pictures eliminates cursing. It does.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
works fine.
Unless you can't figure out how you got that to wrap around that.
Yeah.
And I'll say something else. This is very woman of the house. I don't know that you are this person, Sam, but I love dishes all year round. I like pretty dishes and I like Christmas dishes, and we have some, and they don't come out except at Christmas time. So I got the Christmas dishes out yesterday, and then Taylor and Phoebe both stayed for dinner last night, and I didn't tell them, but when they opened the cabinet to get a glass, it was all the Christmas glasses. And they were like, Christmas coffee cups, Christmas glasses, and it's just little things like that that just, I don't care that I'm late. I don't care that I'm not done shopping. My house is right. And it's not like I said, it's this stuff that we've had forever.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping a bunch of dollars on anything.
Well, those Christmas glasses you expanded this year by thrifting.
Sure did.
Perfect matches and didn't cost near anything, Well, okay, it cost a little
$10, whatever. Right. Yeah, I had like 4 or 5 Christmas glasses.
Yeah.
And
what do they look like?
they're just
They
glass.
have the tree on them?
They have
Yeah.
the tree on them. They're very classic. You've
Yeah,
seen them
yeah.
before. Well, I only had 4 or 5, and one of them broke last year, sadly.
Yeah, they're too thin to put
They're
in a
pretty
dishwasher.
thin. They're
yeah.
pretty delicate.
Oh.
And then we were thrifting on the way home from our anniversary trip, Murph.
That's right.
And I
Mhm.
saw them. I'm like, 5 more for $5 or $10 or something like that. I'll take them, please. And wash them, put them away with us. We have plenty. And when Phoebe sees those, she's the one that likes them the most because she likes to. And you probably didn't know this. This is how specific children are. You know this, Sam. You have kids. Phoebe's like, I love drinking chocolate milk out of those. That just means something to her.
Probably tastes so much better.
Correct. Correct. So anyway, I'll share some pictures this week. Not that it's, I'm not an interior designer, but it's our home. And it did make me really, really happy. That's why the extra spring
Yeah.
in my step.
That's
You know?
good.
Now, if you could just get the outdoor done.
Yeah, I will.
You got a week.
She wants me to put some spring in my step.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.